Hello and welcome. My name is Mary Moo. I'm WACAP's Vice President of Adoptions, and I'm also an adopted mom. I love what I do for children and families at WACAP, and I hope this brief webinar helps you learn more about adopting from China. First, let's discuss the type of children from China who need adoption. It's important to understand that in China, almost all children who are in need of adoption have been abandoned. This means that information can be limited about a child's early history. Often, a child's documented history can only be traced back to the date he or she entered an orphanage. The majority of children who are in need of adoption are children who have some kind of individual need and whose family was unable to care for them. Extreme poverty and lack of access to medical care commonly play a big role in these families' decisions to abandon their child. China's infamous one-child policy was recently adjusted to allow families 2 children. Interestingly, this has not had a significant impact on our work, primarily because most of the children for whom WACAP advocates and seeks families have health or developmental needs. In years past, the majority of children adopted from China were young, healthy girls. Healthy baby girls are no longer being abandoned in the great numbers that they used to be, but many children with health or development needs or who are older are still being abandoned. We use the term individual needs when describing these children because the needs involved can be minor or more complex. Sometimes the individual need isn't a diagnosis, but simply that the child is older. Some children have minor medical conditions such as correctable heart conditions, syphilis, or cleft lip and cleft palate. There are also many children who have more complex issues such as blindness, cerebral palsy, or severe orthopedic challenges. Clearly, the terms minor or complex are subjective when describing such diagnoses. Typically, what we mean by minor needs is a condition that many families are open to. Each family will define this differently, so we encourage you to contact us here at WACAP to learn more about the children in need. Although many people assume that China is a country where an overwhelming number of girls are in need of adoption, there are actually more boys who are waiting for families than girls. Due to the low number of families open to adopting boys, the wait time for boys of all ages and all needs is often much shorter. You may be wondering how families are matched with children from China. There are 2 primary ways to be matched. The first, most families are matched through WACAP's personalized matching services, in which WACAP staff uses your input to look for a child whose needs you feel comfortable with. Families who are hoping to adopt a young child with minor special needs or those seeking a girl are usually matched in this manner. Other families are drawn to adopt from China because of a specific child they see on WACAP's password-protected website or another advocacy website. A list of waiting children from China and other countries can be found on the WACAP website under the Waiting Child tab. We know that some families are concerned about the cost involved with adoption. We're pleased to let you know that WACAP offers promise grants to help reduce the adoption cost for some identified children. Feel free to ask us for more information about these grants and other resources regarding finances. Now, let's talk about the eligibility requirements. Couples must be married for at least 2 years, or if you have previously divorced, your current marriage must be for at least 5 years. Both parents are required to be at least 30 years old and no more than 48 years age difference between the younger parent and the child you plan on adopting. Both parents must have a high school diploma or its equivalent. There is a minimum net worth requirement of $80,000, and families must demonstrate an annual income of at least $10,000 per family member, including the child you plan on adopting. Both parents should be in good health. Some medical conditions are accepted if they affect only one parent. Families with an arrest in their history are considered on a case-by-case basis. It's also important to know that for some children who are older or have more involved individual needs, China may grant waivers on their eligibility requirements. We understand that this can sound pretty overwhelming. We encourage you to contact us with questions about your specific situation to learn more about what is possible for your family. But before we move on, we're often asked if singles can adopt from China. Single women can absolutely do so. Most eligibility criteria is the same for a single parent as for married couples, with a few exceptions. The minimum age is also 30, but there can be no more than 45 years age difference between the single parent and the child that's being adopted. The minimum net worth requirement is $100,000 for single applicants, and they must be able to demonstrate an annual income of at least $20,000 plus $10,000 per child, including the child that you're going to be adopting. Additionally, you can have up to 2 children in the home, with the youngest child being at least 6 years old. The adoption process can seem overwhelming, but it's much easier if you break it down into steps. Right now, you're in the inquiry and application stage. Once you've applied, you'll start working on your home study. Most home studies take about 3 to 4 months complete and include training and support as you prepare for the adoption. If you live in a state where WACAP is licensed, we can complete the home study for your family. Otherwise, we can give you a list of home study agencies that are local to you. When your home study for China is complete and approved, we will then work with you to collect the necessary paperwork to be registered with the CCCWA. This is the Chinese Adoption Authority. Once your paperwork is registered with the CCCWA, you will wait for a match. The time frame will greatly depend on the type of child you're requesting. When you've received information about a child, you'll have some time to consider the child's information, review the information with the doctor, and ask questions. Things can move quickly, but we'll provide you with support to ask questions and gain the information you need to make a good decision. Once a match has become formal, the next steps involve China confirming the match and processing with U.S. immigration. Approximately 4 to 6 months after the formal referral, or if you accepted the match of a waiting child when your dossier has been registered, you are then invited to travel to China to meet your child, complete the illegal adoption, and bring him or her home. At least one parent needs to travel, and this trip usually takes about 10 to 14 days. Finally, once you're home with your child, your social worker will make several visits and write reports as required by the CCCWA, so they know how your adjustment is going with your new son or daughter. WACAP believes in offering long-term support and resources and hopes to be helpful before, during, and after your child joins your family. The time frames talked about here are averages, and families' individual experiences can differ significantly in either direction. WACAP, we are mindful of keeping families informed at each step of their adoption process. We know that you likely have lots of questions. There's a lot to think about. Here are a few ways that you can reach us. A great place to start is to call or email WACAP, and we can connect you to resources and information to help you sort out options and answer any questions you may have. Contacting us by phone or email is also a great way to connect if you are specifically interested in hearing about children who are ready and waiting to be adopted right now. At WACAP, we work every day to accomplish our vision. We believe that there's a family for every child. Let's get started finding that child who just might be waiting for you. Whether you're ready now or simply exploring the possibilities, thank you so much for watching.